as some of the language you'll hear on Blood on the Microphone can be adult in nature, this program is intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Hello. Once again, it is I, our crazy McStain. And today, Mandy Nagy, who blogs and tweets as Liberty Chick, gave me 3 packs of generic cigarettes and a half-gallon of wild Irish rose to come on this show and tell you of the many sins of Bill Schmalfeld. Again, please excuse the artificial voice. Cancer is a terrible thing. I blame the mainstream media for not giving us ample warning about the dangers of smoking and drinking cheap alcohol. Which reminds me. Oh yeah. Anyway, Liberty Chick wanted me to come out and tell you that despite what you may have heard from Bill Schmalfeld or any of his deranged cyber stalker friends, I really should quit these, but you know it takes real dedication to smoke through a hole in your throat. Anyway, back on point. Despite what you may have heard about Mandy Nagy and her large posterior, none of that is true. When you look at the pictures taken at Blog Bash, and you see my friend Lee Stranahan in a photo, you will notice that in practically every photo, he is staring right at Mandy Nagy's backside. Oh, that helps. That helps a lot. It's not that it is some large obstacle to navigation, as Bill Schmalfeld called it in a recent tweet. And it does not need its own lighthouse to warn mariners of its presence, although it does seem to have its own foghorn, as several of us who were sitting near her noticed during the course of the evening. Her butt just is not that big. God, I need that. So let's have no more of these crude comments about the size of Mandy Nagy's buttocks. And let's instead focus on the important issues of the day, like how Bill Schmalfeld continues to be cyber stalker who should be put out of his misery. And speaking of misery, that went right into the ulcer that time. I think I've said all that needs to be said.
Who knows what evil lurks in the hearts of men?
The liberal grouch knows.
The liberal grouch Bill Schmalfeld, a man of meager means, a student of science, and a master of other people's minds, devotes his life to righting wrongs, solving crimes, protecting the innocent, and punishing the guilty. Using advanced methods that may ultimately become available to all law enforcement agencies, Schmalfeld is known to the evil Breitbart Empire as the Liberal Grouch. Never seen, only heard, a seemingly supernatural nemesis as haunting to the superstitious mind of a right-winger moron as a ghost, as inevitable as a guilty conscience. The Liberal Grouch has vowed that only death will end his quest for social justice. And when that day happens, and his voice is silenced, it will surely be as the result of blood on the microphone.
You know, I actually enjoy the fact that pinheads like Kimberlin Unmasked don't understand the reason for that title. I actually enjoy that. It makes me glad. Hi there, Bill Schmalfeld here, the Liberal Grouch, in a jovial mood as usual, as we bring you at least an hour of entertainment, comedy, satire, and stuff like that there. But I'm afraid we must start on a serious note. It seems that somebody has been unjustly accused. A regular commenter on the Breitbart Unmasked blog, Texas Tim. He's the rootinest, tootinest cyber spy we've ever had as a guest commentator on Breitbart Unmasked. He has been blamed by the Breitbots for traveling down to Manassas to personally photograph the house, if one can call it that, of the coward Aaron Walker, who makes his wife check his car for bombs. I want to put that to rest, and in order to do so, I have to make an admission. They say confession is good for the soul, so this should be very, very good for my soul indeed. There's been a great deal of controversy among the right-wing blogs as of late, especially in the light of their epic, disastrous fail in their effort to slow down the work of the Howard County State's Attorney, which, by the way, we'll address in just a moment, but I want to set the record straight on something, and I feel honor-bound to do so. There have been questions raised about how Texas Tim knew that Aaron Walker has a no trespassing sign on his house. Well, one could employ common sense and say that it's a fairly decent guess that somebody with the level of pathologic paranoia of an Aaron Walker someone who would send his own wife out to search underneath his car for bombs, it would seem like a fairly reasonable guess that this person would also have a no trespassing sign posted somewhere on his property. Inasmuch as it would be a pretty good guess that somebody like myself, who has a couple of dogs and does not wish to be sued by anybody, would have on his property, beware of the dogs. I mean, it's a fair assumption. But no, the right wing doesn't believe in fair assumptions. For everything, there must be a conspiracy. And I am here to confess. It was me. I am the person who noticed that Aaron Walker has a no trespassing sign on his property in Manassas. His address is a matter of public record. I'm not going to share it with you here. But I did not drive down there, nor did I ask my wife to drive me down there. What I did was I got into my bed, closed my eyes, and entered a tantric state of meditation. I had an out-of-body experience, and my spirit floated to Manassas. It's a great way to beat the traffic on the Beltway, let me tell you. I mean, the traffic on the Beltway is killer 24/7. If you ever have to go anywhere in the Washington, D.C. area, believe me, this is the way to go. But I floated invisible down to Manassas. Took about half hour to get there because in the spirit realm, it's much easier to find shortcuts. And with my plasma camera, I took pictures of Aaron Walker's house, and it was I who noticed the no trespassing sign. Texas Tim is a commenter on the Breitbart Unmasked website. He did not drive down to Manassas to stalk Aaron Walker. It was me. It was me all along. In my spirit form, I floated to Manassas and gathered this information. And I apologize. Well, actually, no, I don't apologize. I'm not sorry about it at all. Matter of fact, after the show today, I'm planning to leave my body again, float down to Dallas, which I expect will take a little bit longer, and see what the Stranahans are up to. If time allows tomorrow, I'm thinking about leaving my body and taking the short float up to Hagerstown and dropping in on the McCains and see if they still do actually live in the address they claim to have fled. I'll see if I can get some pictures of that as well. But meantime, back onto the subject of Texas Tim. In a recent comment on Breitbart Unmasked, Texas Tim wanted to take a moment to thank all of you who took part in the, well, both of you, or maybe the dozen of you. I don't want to underplay it. The dozen or so of you who took part in the Howard County State's Attorney Everybody Blog About Day. And Texas Tim just wanted to share, and he posted this as a comment on the blog. Just wanted to give a heads up to all the fools who called the Howard County State's Attorney's Office as part of Team Walker's idiocy. You are all now securely in the FBI Department of Homeland Security Fusion Center database under the terrorism tag. And you can find out more about this by going to www.dhs.gov/FBI-field-intelligence-groups-and fusion-centers. Texas Tim continues, Howard County has been working with the FBI over the past 2 weeks in preparation for this attack and set up means to capture all of the IPs, emails, and phone calls that came into Howard County. And just in case you dumbasses out of state don't know this, Howard County is one of the highest priority intel areas in the country. At its heart, the epicenter for the world's cyber industry. With the National Security Agency, Defense Intelligence Agency, U.S. Cyber Command, and 3 of the 4 military branches' cyber commands, all located in the Howard County corridor, it has attracted the most capable and extensive cyber industry partners anywhere in the world. It's also home of one of the largest military bases in the country, Fort Meade. So, all of you fools can thank Hoagie and Walker for making sure that you are not only known, but also that your every move will be watched from here on out. Heck of a job, Walker. If I didn't know better, I would think Walker was on the FBI payroll to identify extremist dumbasses. So there you have it. Welcome to the reality of taking part in these little cyber attacks. Enjoy your consequences.
Where do you think this is headed?
I think it's headed for disaster for the United States. God says they divided my land. There's something about dividing God's land. He said, this is my land. I gave it to Abraham and his descendants, and I don't want it taken away from them.
Nobody gonna end this war. We're gonna run it to the ground. Nobody gonna end this war till the blood soaks through the ground. Ooh, it's a killing machine. It's got everything. Like a superpower, razor wires and everything. I love it. I need it. I bleed it. Yeah, it's foretold by God. All right, hold tight. I preach on TV. Nobody gonna take their land. They're gonna keep it till the end. Nobody gonna take their land. God decides it in the end. Ooh, it's a killing machine. It's got everything. It's ordained by God. He's in control of everything. I love it. I need it. I seen it. Yeah, turns me on. All right, hold tight. I preach on TV.
And Jerusalem is the eternal capital of Israel. And for the United States to get into a deal where they're trying to split Jerusalem and take it away from the Israelis and split up their capital, huge mistake. You're asking for the wrath of Almighty God to fall on this nation. And when it falls, it won't be fun. It won't be fun. And we should do everything we can to restrain our leaders from this full course of folly. And it is a course of folly, and it will result in terrible suffering for people in the United States. You know, you wonder what it is in these Muslims that causes them to go crazy because somebody says something about Muhammad, most of which happens to be true. He took his favorite wife when she was either 8 or 9 years old, when he was 53, and he began having sexual relations with that 8 or 9-year-old child. Now, we call that pedophilia in this country, but with him it was like a holy act.
Nobody gonna sue for peace. If they do, then we will suffer. Nobody gonna sue for peace. We'll just have to be much tougher. Ooh, up in heaven again, he knows everything. Like an angry God, he loves war and everything. He loves it, he needs it, he sees it. The Holy Land just for Christ. All right, hold tight. I'm Preach on TV.
He had a number of wives, and this movie showed him having sexual intercourse with one or more of his wives, and I guess the Muslims got upset about that. But Muhammad was very frank about what he did and what he didn't do, and you read some of the writings of Muhammad and what he has to say, it's all in there. But he seemed to, Muslims can have 4 wives, and he probably had more than his quota. But nevertheless, why do they riot? Why do they kill people? I mean, what is it about this religion that makes them so terribly defensive? Well, the reason they're so defensive is because they cannot defend some of the stuff they believe, and therefore they're very protective of it. Ishmael, the Bible says, was like a wild donkey. I mean, he was just a wild man, and apparently that spirit has pervaded these people, and it's just crazy, but they do it. And there'll be one Miss Universe contest, and they go crazy. One cartoon about Muhammad, and they go crazy. They want to kill people, they shoot things, they tear things up. So anyhow, maybe sanity will be restored one day, but it won't be anytime soon.
Nobody gonna sue for peace. If they do, then we will suffer. Nobody gonna sue for peace. We'll just have to be much tougher. Ooh, up in heaven again, he knows everything. Like an angry God, he loves war and everything. He loves it, he needs it, he sees it. The Holy Land just for Christ. All right, hold tight. I preach on TV. I preach on TV. I preach on TV.
We're asking for the intent of the followers nation.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is...
Blood on the microphone.
Please note, the new number is...
Blood on the microphone.
Hi there, friends and neighbors. This here's Lee Strangamahan at Lee Strangamahan's Purloin Pussy Palace. And let's clear up that confusion right now. There's this right-wing blogger what lives in Dallas who claims that he is me. Well, I am not him. My name is spelled Leigh-Strangamahan. Lee Strangamahan. So let's clear up that confusion right now. I'm running Lee Strangamahan's Purloin Pussy Palace, and now that I'm out of jail, we're open for business again. And not only do we still have little Hoggy running around pooping on everything, we got us a new girl working for us. That's right. Ever since my wife broke down and she ain't purty no more, we went out and found ourselves some new quality talent. I'd like you to meet Candy Mandy, the Liberty Chunk. That's what we call her.
Hi, boys. I'm Candy Mandy, and I got something for you that's good eating. You betcha.
That's right, Candy Mandy. But you ain't one of the purloin pussies what we got here, because all we got is pictures of pussy. No, little Hoggy, we don't got no piggy pussy. How many times I gotta tell you that? All we got is pussy, old pussy, young pussy, hairy pussy, bald pussy, pictures and pictures of pussy, pussy, pussy. I mean, I'm saying all we got is pussy, pussy, all right here at Lee String-O-Man's Purloin Pussy Palace in Dallas.
Greetings. My name is R. Casey McStain, managing editor of Viral Screed and my own blog, The Other McStain. I realize for many of you, this is the first time you are hearing my voice, and for that I apologize. I lost my voice box due to years of excessive smoking and drinking cheap alcohol. If you purchase any of the items for sale at Team Kimberlin's store on cafepress.com, you are contributing to the downfall of Western civilization. Team Kimberlin stands against everything we hold dear, educating young people about the importance of voting. Who thinks that's a good idea? A bunch of pot-smoking, red-eyed slackers going to the polls and voting for Democrats. And the National Parkinson Foundation. Really? God wanted these shaky, wobbly old bastards to have Parkinson's, or he would not have blessed them with the disease. If you go interfering with God's law, well, you're in a heap of trouble. So do not go to www.cafepress.com/Team Kimberlin and purchase any of their wide assortment of t-shirts, hats, hoodies, sweats, cups, keychains, mouse pads, or cute little doggy jackets. You're just going to wind up making things worse for the 1%, and we cannot let that happen. Now, where's that bottle of Mad Dog 2020 I was promised for cutting this spot?
Never mind the bollocks. Here's Team Kimberlin with all that nice stuff that's going to make you look cool and help fight for social justice at the same time. 50% of the proceeds from the sale of each item goes to the Justice Through Music Project, an organization that uses famous musicians and bands to organize and educate and activate young people about the importance of civil rights, human rights, and voting. The other 50% goes to the National Parkinson Foundation, which works with Parkinson's patients and their caregivers to help them endure the daily challenges of this disease that affects some 1.5 million Americans, with 50,000 new diagnoses each year. So visit www.cafepress.com/Team Kimberlin today and shop until it feels good. Remember, as R. Casey McStain says,
where's my damn bottle of wine?
Blood on the microphone.
Bill Schmalfeld here. This is Blood on the Microphone, the title of our show today. It was entirely my fault. And keeping with the theme of that show, there's something else I have to apologize for. But first, let's talk about these McConnell tapes. You know, the right wing is going batshit about this today. The recording of Mitch McConnell gathering with campaign advisors in which they discuss the use of Ashley Judd's mental difficulties in the past as a possible campaign tool to be used against her. Now, before we delve into that, if you're the type of parent who uses the boogeyman as a motivating factor for your children, and you want to scare them, you want them to fear the thing under the bed or in the closet, go to Talking Points Memo right now. Don't disconnect from the show or anything, but just open up another browser window and go to talkingpointsmemo.com and look at that picture of Mitch McConnell. Is that not the scariest thing you have ever seen? I tell you, all you're ever going to have to do is tell your kids that the scary man is in their closet or under their bed, and if they don't behave themselves, the scary man will come and get them. I saw that this morning, and I'm like, ah! Yeah, just in case you haven't seen it, when I post today's show on oldunklebastard.com, and I post the bits from today's show on our bit page at breitbartunmasked.com, I will include a picture of Mitch McConnell looking for all the world like he intends to boil and eat your children. Now, all the Breitbots are comparing this tape to what James O'Keefe III did. And there's just no comparison. For one thing, we don't know who recorded this tape. Was this tape a result of bugging? Was McConnell's office bugged? Probably not. The FBI is looking into it, but even McConnell is starting to back off from this whole "my office was bugged" thing. So was the tape recorded by somebody at the meeting? Well, if that is the case, then it's a legal tape. So again, there's no comparison between anything James O'Keefe III did as far as, dressing up like a pimp or sneaking into Maxine Waters' headquarters to fuck with her telephones. Nope, there's no comparison to that at all. And I'm here to tell you, I recorded the tape. Yes, it's another admission. I, on this day in March, again entered the spiritual realm and went down to Kentucky to sit in invisibly on this meeting with my invisible tape recorder. Actually, it's an invisible digital recorder, but that's kind of hard to explain to people. And the tapes you've heard so far are not accurate. I have the original because I am the one who taped it. And here is the original.
Is this thing on? Am I getting a level? All right, we can start the meeting here. If I could interject, I assume most of you have played the game Whack-A-Mole. This is the Whack-A-Mole period of the campaign. When anybody sticks their head up, do them out. And we're even planning to do that with the courier here shortly, so...
We're anxious for that.
You'd rather just play Whack-A-Pole. Well, let's all listen to what the presenter has to say.
So I'm the fellow who will be listed on the transcript as presenter. So let me just preface my comments that this reflects the work of a lot of folks. Pinky, Pee-wee, Mr. Poo-Poo, and Millhouse, and a lot of other weird acronyms. So thank them 3 times too. No, 5 times, because this is a compilation of work all the way through. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice. Now then, the first person we'll focus on, Ashley Judd. Basically, I refer to her as sort of the Oppo research situation where there's a haystack of needles because truly there is such a wealth of material. You know Jessie slogged through her autobiography.
Did he slog through anything else so far?
You like to play Whack-A-Pole? She has innumerable video interviews, tweets, blog posts, articles, magazine articles. Yes, it's really hard to get your arms around a fat person. Anywho, the good news is she's off to the far left of every issue she's taken a public stance on, not just far left nationwide, mumble, mumble, mumble.
Would you repeat that? You were inaudible.
No. So, you know one of the first themes we can sort of hit on clearly is that she openly supports President Obama.
Obama likes to play whack-a-pole.
That obviously leads to another issue we'll get to in a minute about her Tennessee links. Here's just another sample, a wealth of material. Pretend for a moment this is Ashley Judd's voice.
I'm committed to President Obama and Vice President Biden. They're my candidates, and I will be a surrogate in the campaign and do whatever I can.
Example there. Clearly a theme that's easy to hit is that she's an out-of-touch Hollywood liberal, and her grandmother, Polly Judd, referred to her as that. Her own grandmother. Can you believe that? A person's grandmother thinking that her granddaughter is too liberal. She was critical of the party in the 90s, the traditional Democratic Party, for giving too much support to the center and away from the left.
Who was? Judd or her grandma?
One of them. Take your pick. You can see that quote below that kind of accentuates that. Another thing is she's clearly anti-coal. She's tweeted that the era of the coal plant is over. Unacceptable. It's the dirtiest. We in the U.S. can do better. We need to innovate.
Innovation? That's for pussies.
I've omitted all of her mountaintop removal stuff. It's a whole separate category. It doesn't quite test as well. But she has, and we have her on film, she's led protests. She's done speeches at National Press Club condemning mountaintop removal.
I thought you were omitting all the mountaintop removal stuff.
Shut up. So you can see there, she's on record supporting cap and trade. She's a cap and trade carpetbagger.
Cap and trade carpetbagger.
Cap and trade carpetbagger. Cap and trade carpetbagger. So Pee-wee found that, and basically she claims San Francisco is her home. She also, earlier in that clip, says she has a 415 area code on her cell phone, which is also a San Francisco number. Here, she clearly indicates her linkage to the volunteer state.
Is that us?
I think we're the Tar Heels.
No, that's West Carolina.
It's Tennessee, morons. We're the bluegrass state.
Oh.
So not only has she clearly claimed Tennessee as her home, and San Francisco, she's actually mocked Kentucky to Tennessee audiences. She was bemoaning the low voter turnout among women in Tennessee. She said, people, that's even worse than Kentucky.
Do they allow women to vote yet in Tennessee?
Nope. Same as here in Kentucky.
Do we have that audio?
No, I just made that up. And I believe she owns, again, pending a divorce settlement, but she currently owns a multi-million-dollar mansion in Scotland. So as Senator Rand Paul said, she's sort of linked with Scotland as well as Tennessee, and we also have the San Francisco footage. So she can be senator from California, or from Tennessee, or from Scotland,
but not West Carolina,
or Kentucky. And Josh found this nugget. She's clearly embracing Obamacare here.
I thought people liked Obamacare.
That's what they want you to think. I think she's clearly sort of traditional American family. I think Jessie tracked this down. She described having children as selfish, and she thinks it's unconscionable to breed. We made that part up, too. So you put that with what we'll talk about to you later about her sort of pro-choice stance, and it's sort of a, pretty extreme posture to take. Women hate other women who want them to have reproductive choice. And then she's clearly for pro-abortion.
And we're for anti-pro-abortion.
She's an open advocate, as you can see. Anyhow, I know this is sort of a sensitive subject, but at least worth putting on your radar screen is that she's a critical mumble-de-blah.
Would you repeat that, please? You were inaudible.
No. She sort of views Christianity as a vestige of patriarchy. She says Christianity gives God like a man, presented and discussed exclusively with male imagery, which legitimizes and seals male power. The intention to dominate, even if that intention is nowhere visible.
But it does do that, right? I mean, she's not claiming God as a woman or anything.
Did I tell you could speak?
No.
Then shut your lipstick hole. And this is a sort of an interview that sort of manifests this sort of what I would say oddly syncretic approach to Christianity. Now, anyone here who knows what syncretic means? Anyone? Very good. Now, let's pretend this is Judd talking again.
I still choose the God of my understanding as the God of my childhood. I have to expand my God concept from time to time. You know, particularly, I enjoy native faith practices. And I have a very nature-based God concept. I like to think I'm like St. Francis in that way. Brother Donkey, Sister Bird.
Brother Donkey, Sister Bird.
Just like when St. Francis of Assisi said that, which he actually did, as documented in the website Catholicism Simple and Pure.
People at Southeast Christian Church will take to the streets with pitchforks.
Catholics.
Brother, that's my favorite line so far. Absolute favorite one so far. She's also an open advocate of gay marriage. You can see this in what she tweeted after election night when Maryland approves same-sex marriage. It's okay to love whom you love. And then she talks about Maryland's bill.
You mean Bill Smallfat, the evil liberal grouch, the one who so far has successfully evaded the righteous persecution of Lee Stranahan, W.J.J. Hogue, and Aaron Walker?
No, the Maryland gay marriage bill. She's clearly, and this sounds extreme, but she's emotionally unbalanced. You know, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, loco en la cabeza.
Her little red choo-choo has gone chugging around the bend.
Yep, she's a couple fries short of a Happy Meal.
She's had past problems with depression, which has been successfully treated with medication, like so many of our fellow Americans, including several in this room.
Yes, and it's been documented. Mr. Poo-Poo can go into chapter and verse about her autobiography about, you know, how she suffered some suicidal tendencies.
Who hasn't?
She was hospitalized for 42 days when she had a mental breakdown in the 90s.
Yeah, and she was sexually abused as a child. No way that gets unnoticed in a campaign.
So again, that's the sort of the tip of the iceberg. Like I said, you know, we're still drilling down, and there's a wealth of material, and it's just hard to get your arms all the way around
Like
it.
a chubby girl who was sexually abused as a child.
I'll bet she likes to play whack-a-mole.
Well, let's see what they have on the headlines at Breitbart.com today. Here's the lead story. Democrats, quote, confident, close quote, to have the votes to bring gun control bill to Senate. And then there's a picture of a big old steamroller running over a bunch of guns. That's what'll happen, you know.
Breitbarts! Stay away. You think you all will be real writers any day. Breitbarts! What a pain. Telling lies takes no ethics and little brain. Good stint, name and print, right-wing daydream makes all of the rich wing nuts cream. Breitbarts! Brain attack. Hate Obama and not just because he's black. Breitbarts! You should quit. Don't give me that right-wing nut bullshit. You're in the wing nut line machine no one ever trusts, not since your leader bit the dust.
Well, that's a harsh way of looking at it. But let's see what else is on the pages of Breitbart.com today. Well, here's a story about... Oh, and it's an exclusive. Palin advisors. Unconscionable mainstream press exploited Thatcher's death for smears. You see, Sarah Palin tied herself to Margaret Thatcher, who wouldn't piss on her if she was on fire. This is written written by Tony Lee. He says, mainstream media publications immediately exploited the passing of former British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher on Monday to again advance their political agendas by falsely smearing former Alaska governor and Republican vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin. In a rush to write whatever they could to tarnish both, outlets like Politico and the Washington Post have resorted to, quote, reporting, unquote, on a fictitious story and an imaginary trip that has been debunked years ago. And there's so much more, it makes my head hurt to look at it. And then there's this story about how peace in the Middle East that won't do anything to solve terrorism. Secretary of State John Kerry echoing, by the way, this is by William Bigelow. Secretary of State John Kerry echoing the old anti-Israel canard that peace in the Middle East is dependent on a resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, expanded that idea to the rest of the world, as he told reporters in Jerusalem on Monday. I am intensely focused on this issue and the region because it's vital, really, to American interests and regional interests to try and advance the peace process, because this festering absence of peace is used by groups everywhere to recruit and encourage extremism. Of course! How could we be so stupid? All the Islamic extremism in the world, all the terrorists worldwide, would simply beat their swords into plowshares if only Israel could make peace with the Palestinians. It ought to be simple, really. Let Israel hand over all the territory the Palestinians regard as theirs, exile the Jews, and terrorism will come to a crashing halt. Pat Robertson said pretty much the same thing. He said that John Kerry was risking bringing down the wrath of God on America by trying to solve the Middle East conflict. I'll tell you what, Breitbart News and Pat Robertson, they know more about God than you do.
It's a shame you're the cause of so much hatred. You're to blame. Breitbarts! So they say you're the cause of much evil today. But if you search for the truth, it's no surprise they're giving none away. Away, 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 away.
Blood on the microphone.
Honey, I have to go down to the video store and rent some new video games. Would you check the car for bombs, please?
I'm tired of having to go under the car and check it for bombs. My knees are all scuffed up, my fingernails are broken, my knuckles are scuffed and scratched, and I just don't feel attractive anymore.
Well, somebody has to do it, and I'm sure not gonna.
Why not rent a waif?
Rent a waif?
That's right, rent a waif. When the Christian World Adoption Agency went bankrupt earlier this year, there were still a few stockholders with a few bucks to spend, so they incorporated and formed Rent a Waif. Now, if you have a minefield that needs clearing, or a car that needs to be checked for bombs, or anything dangerous like that, Rent a Waif
For the low, low price of $7,500 plus extra fees, which we'll tell you about
about after you sign the contract?
We'll deliver to you an Ethiopian toddler. Not quite able to walk yet, but they can crawl real good.
Rent-A-Waif, eh?
How does it work?
Well, here's what we do. In your situation, we put a diaper on the waif made of material known to automatically set off hidden bombs. You take the little critter out to the garage and set him on the ground, and he starts crawling around, and if there's a bomb in your car... Kerblooey!
Well, it sounds pretty good, but I'm still not convinced.
That's a lot of money.
You'd be surprised how many times I ran into that line of resistance. Here, look at this video. See how the little critter's just crawling right through that minefield. Yep, the mercenary soldiers just stand there and watch as the sweet little darling just makes his way casually through the minefield until suddenly, there's one. But the minefield's not clear yet, so they set down another baby. And the same thing, of course, happens. Now, once the soldiers have a clear path through the minefield, they're able to proceed, and all that's been lost is a few Ethiopian babies.
Gosh, that sounds like it would work great.
Oh, it's guaranteed.
Not an actual guarantee.
But what if there's not a bomb in the car? I don't want to have to take care of a baby every day.
Simple. If you check the car and it turns out that there are no bombs, you call us and we come and pick up the baby.
For a small extra fee.
And deliver the baby back to your house the next time you need to take the car out.
Wow, honey, that sounds like the answer to our prayers.
Yeah, Rent-A-Waif sounds great.
Who do I call?
1555 Rent-A-Waif. That's 1555 Rent-A-Waif. That's 155 Rent-A-Waif. Probably is not legal in your community.
3 weeks later.
Honey, I need to take the car to the video store again and get some new games. Would you go check for bombs?
We don't have to check for bombs anymore, Aaron, now that we've got Rent-A-Waif.
All right, you little crumb snatcher, get under the car and see what you can find.
Berlin.
Another couple saved by Rent-A-Waif.
This week in Brightbit News.
Mondays, everybody blog about the Howard County State's Attorney's Day was an unqualified success.
Not only did the president of Howard County award Aaron Walker and W.J.J. Hogue with the key to the county,
He reversed the state's attorney's decision to not prosecute Bill Schmalfeld for his many, many crimes.
had him and the state's attorney arrested, clapped into irons,
and thrown into the Tower of Ellicott City, where they will be fed fish heads and rice until they die.
Way to go, Aaron. Way to go, Hoggy.
How do you know your car is safe? How do you know Brett Kimberlin hasn't stashed a bomb in there anywhere?
Aaron Walker gives you some helpful tips on what to tell your wife to look for when you throw her under your car to check for incendiary devices.
Did you know that the Team Kimberlin logo, available on items sold at the Team Kimberlin Cafe Press store at www.cafepress.com/Team Kimberlin, has not one, but 2 commie flags on it?
Well, they resemble some commie flags. All they need is a hammer and a sickle and a change of colors, and they would be commie flags.
Check it out for yourself at www.cafepress.com/Team Kimberlin.
And see if we're lying about that.
And how long can a man ignore his own anal hygiene and still remain comfortable?
The tweeter, known as @KimberlinUnmasked, hasn't properly wiped himself in 15 years, and he says it doesn't bother him a bit.
These stories and more on the actual honest-to-God website that is anything but honest to God.
Brightbit News. It's free.
It's online.
It's a bunch of right-wing nonsense.
The kind you like.
If you prefer your red meat rancid and putrefied, it's the website for you.
Brightbit News. Available now
at www.breitbitnews.com.
It's a real website, and we're sorry.
Oh, God, how we're sorry.
We're really, really sorry.
Blood on the microphone.
Okay, I know how this is going to sound. I don't want to dwell on this too long, and I know that this is going to seem kind of creepy, but you know my mother passed away on March 8th, right? You know that. I think there's a chance that her spirit entered the body of Mandy Nagy. My mother's soul has entered the body of Liberty Chick. Oh, God, it's disgusting to think about it, but she's saying things that my mother said to me when I was a child. For instance, she's convinced that I've done something wrong. She's making noise about how one of the people that the state's attorney won't prosecute here in Maryland, and I guess that would be me, did something wrong. Somebody in Howard County, Maryland. And she comes out and actually names me. She says to my friend Matt Osborne, she says, I see Crazy Billy is frightened. He should be. He knows exactly what he did. God, I can hear my mother's voice saying that. Don't lie to me, young man. You know what you did. And now I'm just worried that I'm going to look at the Twitter and I'm going to see a message from Mandy Nagy, and it's going to say, now you go to your room, young man, and you think about what you did, and you don't come down till I call you. Do you understand me? And I don't know what I did, but I couldn't tell that to my mom. So when she would use, we didn't know what the Jedi mind trick was back in that 1960s, but my mother was a master at it. She made you feel guilty when you knew you hadn't done anything wrong. All mothers do that to an extent, I suppose, but my mom, she was a master. If you did something wrong and she couldn't quite put her finger on it, she would use that trick, and you would confess to sins that you never even dreamed of committing, hoping that one of them was the thing she was looking for. So, Mom, if you're listening, get out of Mandy Nagy. Get out. Get out of that. She's got lupus, Mom. Get out. God.
A blog based out in LA, and it's read by many folks each day. Mandy Nagy, how she slaves away and lies about the left. Now she calls herself Liberty Chick, and she works for these Breitbart bricks. They say, Mandy, write some more lies quick. She serves up bullshit and lies. The wingnuts say, Mandy, you're a fine girl with these swell lies that you write. Love your anti-female rantings from the right. Mandy met a guy one day. Unlike most of men, she knows he wasn't gay. He proved it on an all-night stay. He's the man that Mandy loves. She fell for this younger boy. He is her, a blade of meat shield toy, but she has to journey for orgasmic joy. He lives in Illinois. The wingnuts say, Mandy, you're a fine girl. What a great lie you can spin. Just too bad you have to travel for your sin. Yeah, Mandy lies about her health just so she can raise some money. 'Cause Breitbart don't provide the wealth for her to see her honey. And if she would only tell the truth, find some honest things to say. But Mandy knows the truth, it does not pay. If you think that this song's uncouth, Mandy Nagy, she knows the truth. She thinks about her wasted youth and still can hear them say, the Wingnuts say, Mandy, you're a fine girl for the lying hack you are. But your lies, they just will not take you very far. Hey, they say, Mandy, you're a fine girl for the lying hack you are. But your lies, they will not carry you very far. No, 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 they say, Mandy, you're a fine girl for the lying sack of shit. And you'd be much better off if you would quit.
You are listening to Blood on the Microphone.
Hi there, friends and neighbors. Lee Strangamahan here again, inviting you to get your sick and perverted asses down here to Lee Strangamahan's Purloin Pussy Palace and meet our new dancing girl. She's a hoochie coochie that'll make you go smoochy. I know that didn't make no sense, but it was the best I could do on the spur of the moment.
Hi, boys. I'm Candy Mandy, the Liberty Chunk.
That's right, boys and girls, and she dances real purty, too. Now, they won't let her get all the way down naked, because that's a law here in Texas. Girls can't get naked.
Yes, they can.
No, honey, I think they made this law just for you.
Oh.
Yeah, the legislature hurried back down to Austin and passed that bill in record time once they heard you was coming to work here. But she wiggles and she jiggles like a bowl full of jelly. Hell, we pass out sticks for people to touch her with, just so you can see her jiggle. It's a thing to behold.
Hey, tickle something fierce.
Now settle down there, honey. You're making little Hoggy all nauseous and nervous and everything. And speaking of something fierce, we got us truckloads and truckloads of purloin pussy. Pussy for every taste. Now you keep your pants on there, Liberty Chunk. Remember, you're not... No. There's a law against that sort of thing, as far as you're concerned there, sweetheart. Anyway, bring it on down to Lee Strangamahan's Purloin Pussy Palace, the place for the pussy. You'll find us wherever the hell we are. Just follow the stench till you get to Lee Strangamahan's Purloin Pussy Palace.
This is Blood on the Microphone.
And it's been a fun one. I hope you enjoyed yourself today. I know I did. I really do enjoy putting this show together for you. And again, for everything that was my fault, I sincerely and humbly ask the Breitbarts to go fuck themselves. See you tomorrow.
The weed of crime bears bitter fruit. Crime does not pay.
The liberal grouch knows.
Blood on the Microphone is an internet radio program. Copyright 2013 by Bill Schmall Felt. All rights reserved. To learn more about the evil doings of the Breitbart gang and other duplicitous right-wing scum, subscribe online to www.breitbartunmasked.com. You can follow Bill on Twitter by entering at liberalgroundchattwitter.com. You can friend Bill on Facebook by logging on to www.facebook.com/libby.grouch. Of course, you can like the Blood on the Microphone fan page on Facebook at www.facebook.com/bloodymike. That's /BLOODYMIC, like one word. Don't forget to show your support for Blood on the Microphone, Breitbart Unmasked and Social Justice by becoming a charter member of Team Gimbalin today. Go to www.cafepress.com/Team Gimbalin and check out all the hats, shirts, cups, stickers, buttons and other gear. Remember, 50% of the profits go to the Justice Through Music project. The other 50% to the National Parkinson Foundation. Blood on the Microphone is a Team Kimberlin production and can be heard live at noon Eastern, Monday through Friday on Spreaker Web Radio. Join us next time for more Blood on the Microphone. And Brightbots, don't forget, he's coming. He's coming for you. Will you be ready?